here, and welcome to the Sparks Show, where we got comedy, news, and two forgettable digs.
With Sparks.
You've got tiny wrists.
Pike.
Hates French toast and your children.
And you, the committee.
Yo, what up, fucker?
Subscribe now and become a committee member. Let's rock.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's up? Hi. Oh, it just kind of dies there at the end. I kind of yelled a little too early. Hi, Pike. What's up, man?
Hey, man, how you doing?
I'm good. I gotta load up the software. I totally forgot to load up the software for the chat with the fine folks over on the not Instagram, YouTube. Shout out to those fine folks over there watching live on youtube.com/Sparks Radio. How are you, Pike?
Good. Another morning. Every day feels the same. I don't know if that's good or bad.
All right. Chipper as usual. Pike is here. That's great.
How are you?
Another morning. Every day feels the same. Feeling wonderful. That's a 9 Inch Nails
Does today
song,
feel different? I don't know. Are you feeling more encouraged about today than yesterday?
You know, I feel like last week I had a great week. I was feeling like, woohoo, we're on the uptake on this show. And then after just talking to you about how long The Simpsons has been on, and it's widely regarded as the downslope, I now feel like we've hit the downslope on this show. They got 30-some years. We've got less than 6 months into this thing. And I feel like we peaked. And and the sad reality of that is washing over me. But you know what? We didn't peak because we got a hell of a show today. We got a hell of a show. So maybe we can just...
I was going to say, when do you recall us peaking? I mean... It's been fine, but
yeah, it's been fun.
We peaked and we're gonna stay at the top.
Maybe today we're gonna peak because we got a hell of a show, which I'll get to in a second. But Pike, first, I gotta ask you this.
Okay.
Hey, Pike, how much money would you pay to lick Chobani off of Aaron Rodgers' fingers?
I'm going to do like a Price is Right here and say
please.
$1.
$1.
Bob.
You're going to undercut every other person in line willing to pay to lick that thick Greek yogurt off of his 2 index fingers or middle finger? Really?
Even if it was the original with like no flavor, shitty Greek yogurt? Because the truth is that I would be next to him. I would be able to meet him, right? Yeah, if you're going to lick his fingers, he's going to be right next to you.
He's going to be inside you. Or you're going to... Yeah,
he's going
to be inside you for $1. That seems pretty low. I don't think he would accept
Oh, my God.
You have to entice him. You know what I mean? What is he just giving out that service for basically nothing? Come on.
It was your question. Obviously, I named my price. You acted like it was a bad thing. Like... You acted like I would not consider having Aaron Rodgers inside my mouth for a very small amount of money.
You're paying him. So
I know.
You have to convince him. All right, $1.
Okay, so I have to pay him and convince him?
Well, the money does the convincing. You know what I mean? The money's the one talking.
Well, he doesn't need the money. It's more it's more like a pleasure thing for him.
Well, I mean, maybe he doesn't have a spoon. So
he's eating like an animal. I can't imagine that, but let's say
now he doesn't have a spoon, but he has your fingers, and you have a little bit.
Now I'm in his mouth.
No. He's eating Chobani. Oh wait, who's eating whose fingers?
Initially, his fingers were in my mouth, which makes me think he was eating the Chobani with his hands.
That's right. I thought he was hungry. You're right. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is in your mouth. Never mind.
Oh.
Yeah, I got confused on my own question. Wait a minute. Which man is in the other man's mouth? Hold on a second.
Now, let me ask you this and be honest.
Oh.
You're sitting there in a room and a guy comes in, he says, "Hey, listen, on the other side of this door, Aaron Rodgers, 3-time MVP NFL, has a bunch of Chobani on his fingers and he wants you to lick it off." Would you do it? Money's not even an issue. Would you say yes, bring him in?
It's not
just to lick the fingers of a legend.
Well, depends on who owns those fingers. You know what I mean? I'm not licking a kicker's fingers.
Who owns those fingers?
Well, it's not just some random NFL
They're
player.
his. They're Aaron.
Oh, it's got to be Aaron Rodgers.
They're Aaron Rodgers. It is, yeah. Somebody you're not, he's not on your team, but you can agree he's an all-time great.
Yeah. I'm not going to hate against Aaron Rodgers. He's amazing. He's probably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. I will say this. I will not lick his fingers, though. I don't care who he is. I'm not licking that guy's fingers.
What the hell? So you're going to say no. Go ahead and leave him on the other side of that door. I'll never meet him. I'll never get to meet that man in my life. I could have. I just had to lick his fingies. Really?
No.
For the show? Can you imagine
for the show
showing up the next...
Okay, I do it for the show, okay? I do anything for the show because we have peaked and we need to get back to where we were. You understand? I would do anything for this.
Okay. Well, I would think an episode where we're talking about you licking Aaron Rodgers' fingers in real life, I think that would be a pretty good show. I'm just saying.
Fine. For the show, I'll lick any NFL player's fingers. Now, are they sexually pleased by this? Or is this just like, hey, bro, I got some yogurt on my fingers. Can you lick it off? Kind of a thing. I'm like, let's say I'll lick your fingers.
He does let out like an audible, oh. But that's it. Just one.
Am I like, do I have his fingers and am I like looking up at him like,
oh, God.
Because I don't like that.
Yeah.
That's
the eye contact would make it.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be like a quick, and done. All right, there you go, Aaron. Okay, your hands are clean. Well, they're kind of dirtier, but you don't understand what I'm saying. But I'm done.
He's got him on both hands. Every finger. You got to go one by one.
What did he do? He just stuck his
it was a big mixing bowl of yogurt that he was using his hands to mix.
Oh, no. For the show, I would do it. For the show. Okay?
That's good. Good to know.
Yeah.
Because I would too.
No, you wouldn't. You'd have to pay. You'd pay $1 for it, and then you'd go. But, No,
man. Well, that was the proposition initially. I would do it for free. I would pay. Well, actually, I was paying already. Okay, never mind. I would do anything to lick Aaron Rodgers' fingers. Let's just say that.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Understand.
That's what he would do.
We've learned a lot about Pike this morning. What do you got?
Well, I had one, and then I used yours already. But anyway, I'll ask you again.
Wait,
a different one.
Up? Okay,
that's all right.
No, it's fine. We can move on.
Yeah. No, it's all right. I had one. I wanted to quick hit on because my question would be: let me ask you this. You ever fuck with a neti pot? Do we know what a neti pot is?
Yeah, but when you say it like that, it's like I pour it into my butthole and it comes out my penis because that's.
Have you ever used a neti pot to fuck?
No. I've never fucked with a neti pot, and I've never used a normal neti pot. It's all weird to me, dude. I don't like
it.
What am
very weird.
Yeah, turning my nose into a pee trap. I'm not into that. Get out of here. That's fucking gross. Weird.
Well, they say they're pretty effective. I've used them. And in fact, this morning, the reason I ask is because I have one. I've had it under my cupboard for a long time, but I read somewhere that if you use like tap water, it could kill you. That one woman a couple years ago used tap water. A brain-eating amoeba developed in her brain, and she died from using a neti pot. So I sat there, and this morning I'm like, fuck it. I'll warm the water up. It'll be fine. Yeah, I got it all warmed up, poured the saline into the thing, and I just looked at it, and I went, fuck, God. And I didn't do it. I poured it out.
Are you all congested?
I'm too scared.
What are you doing?
Dude, I wake up every day congested. Let's not act like we all don't know. Fucking full of shit in here. I must have allergies or something. Oh, yeah.
You need a new air filter. Get an air filter. Change your air filter in that place.
It's not this place. It's me. It's my whole life.
Oh.
You know, and I've just never done anything about it. So I figured now, all right, you're 30. Let's figure.
Yeah. And what happened? Nothing.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it.
I haven't figured it. I didn't use it. I didn't do it. Yeah. I was scared.
How'd you warm the water?
Yeah, so I need to go get
How'd you warm the water?
Filtered water.
Did you microwave it? I knew it. You got to boil the water.
Yeah. I know. But even then, I would be too scared. I'm going to go buy, what do they call it? Distilled water and use that.
Just to pour in your nose.
But I think I poured in I've done it before. Man, the shit that comes out of there, it's like an exorcism of your nasal passages.
Oh, gross. Disgusting. It's gnarly, dude.
What's gross about that?
Oh, I don't even want to think about it. Because you're sitting there like, it all comes out. And then when, look at it. No, I feel bad for you.
What I'll do is take a video of it and send it over your way.
You know what? Put it on the Patreon. How about that? Watch this. Look at this. Put it on the Patreon, Pike.
Patreon.com/SparksRadio.
Hey! Made a graphic yesterday. That's right. We got a couple more people signing up there on Patreon. So make sure you are jumping on it. Patreon.com/SparksRadio. We take all kinds of extra bonus stuff. Well, our plan is to take all kinds of extra bonus content and throw it up there so you can see it. Plus, we do extra questions on 5 on Friday. We'll throw up special Q&As. We'll do live hangouts. We got this thing we're kind of kicking around, planning on all that kind of stuff. So if you want to join, definitely do that. If you want to just become an elevated member, $1. It's $1 a month. I mean, we couldn't make it any cheaper because Patreon wouldn't let us. So they even warned me. They're like, $1's way too cheap, bro. We recommend $3. And I was like, go fuck yourself, Patreon. $1 is where we start here on the show. So make it happen, okay? Patreon.com/SparksRadio. Thank you so much for being here. And if you are, hit that subscribe button. It really does help out the show. So I don't care how you're enjoying it. If it's on YouTube, subscribe. If it's on Spotify, I think it's a follow button. If it's on Apple Podcasts, yeah, click subscribe there and all kinds of stuff. It really does help out the show. I know everybody fucking asks it, but it's really dumb how much it does help out. So please do that. Thank you very much for being here. Follow this guy over on Instagram. It's at Pike Taylor Radio. And all social media, even TikTok. He's on there, but he doesn't dance. At Sparks Radio on social media, except for TikTok, because I don't trust the Chinese government. And then, of course, Jason Lawhead is going to be on the show in a little bit. We've got to talk about the Patreon. Can you hear me? You okay? You okay? Am I cutting out?
Yeah, kind of just doing robot-y stuff, but I got you now.
Okay.
I think we're good now.
Good. We got to talk about the Project Payhem, the thing that we're launched on. Wait, here it is.
Project Payhem.
Yeah. Project Payhem. It's part of the old Patreon.
Nice.
It's where we do massive public jokes. We're going to be talking about that here in a little bit. And of course, we got the news that matters. So shout out to all the members of the special committee for jumping on the Patreon page. Thank you so much for doing that. Really, really appreciate it. And it looks like Special committee member Donna is crushing it over there on Instagram for the vote for the billboard that we're putting up in Las Vegas. It's going to look like this, except for it's not going to be Pike with his missing teeth. It's going to be, well, it's looking like it's Donna, but we got one more day left to go there and vote at Sparks Radio on Instagram. Check it out. Go vote. This is the final day. I'll count all the votes tomorrow before the show, 8 a.m. when we announce the winner. So the person with the most votes, a.k.a. comments on the number, you'll see the video. It's up there on the Instagram, will end up getting on a billboard in Las Vegas. We're buying it. I've talked to the billboard company. It looks like we are good to go there. So, dude, get up there. Vote. Okay? Make it happen. And Pike, you'll never have to see this photo again. Isn't that nice?
It's kind of growing on me. After I go to the dentist next week, that might be what I look like.
That's right.
I know they're ripping one out. They might just get to the others and go, fuck it. We're going to pull most of these, bud.
What perfect timing that we made this billboard, and then you realize they're going to be pulling a tooth out when you go to the dentist next week. You should show them this. Be like, look, see what happened to me? Oh, my God. Brush your
Can
teeth.
you leave me just this one? Just this one to sort of break down the food so I don't have to completely use a blender.
Oh, yeah. So get up there and vote. It should be a fun one, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what this billboard will look like. So we'll find out tomorrow, 8 a.m. Last chance to vote. Now, Pike, before we get to the news that matters, we got to talk to this fine gentleman, Jason Lawhead. Now, I like Jason Lawhead a lot, but I'm a little biased because he's a fellow Browns fan like I am, and we are we're having the time of our lives right now. You know what I mean? This is the most amazing thing in the world.
Soak it in.
Oh, man. I'm soaking it in for sure. But Jason Lawhead, he's a stand-up comic. He's originally from Cleveland. He lives in California now, but he's been a comic for a long time. And I've chatted with this guy over the years, but now he's got a brand new show. It's called Eat With Me, and you can check it out. It's over on his Instagram. It's at Eat With Me TV on Instagram. It's very easy to remember. Lawhead's Court, which was his podcast. He's got a podcast, Lawhead's Court, on Instagram. That's what he chats with you on at Lawhead's Court on Instagram. And then, of course, he's at Jason Lawhead on Twitter. So we got to talk about his TV show. We got to talk about how the hell he's doing in the pandemic, being a comic with, comedy all but shut down, basically, especially out in California. It's crazy there. And then he's just a really funny, wonderful human being. Let's bring him in here. Jason Lawhead, how the hell are you, man? It's been a minute since I've chatted with you. How you been? I know the world's gone to shit, but seriously, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm unemployed right now. As you sit here, I'm 48 years old. I have no idea what's going to happen next, and oddly, I feel great about it. And I had a nice thing rolling. I really do. Remember when Michael Keaton got fired in Mr. Mom? At first, he was like, this is great. I'm just trying to maintain that attitude of Michael Keaton. I'm trying not to choke the boss, So that's kind of where I'm at. But I feel good. I'm lucky to have a really solid partner, wife in life. And so we've been able to kind of just navigate through it a little bit. And it's, like so many people have it worse than I do and we do. And have had hit a lot harder. People, we just got married 4 months before the pandemic. I was doing a little joke. Yeah, I was doing a joke. I go, I feel like we were the curse, we got married, right? No, I swear to God, hear me out. We got married. And then we went to Italy, throughout Italy for our honeymoon. And we ended the trip in Venice in late October. And literally when we got back to JFK, 2 days later, Venice flooded. Like it went, like our hotel in the Grand Canal was like up to the lobby table in water. That's where we were like 2 days before. We were just there. And so, obviously we get through. It's like, holidays. By the time it's New Year, boom, COVID. It's like we went from 4 months married to 48 years in a month. I mean, we were just our whole relationship. Our whole relationship was built on the idea of absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
You know, right when she got tired of me around, I had to go catch a plane.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to go do a gig. I had to go leave for 2 weeks or a week or 10 days. And, you know, by 6 days, 6 or 7, we're like, oh, I miss you. I can't wait to see you. So then I would come home and it'd be great for 2 weeks. Now we just been in like a 7-month staring contest. It's just unbelievable. I swear to God. I don't know who's going to break first. No, but I kid about that, and she's been such a great sport because she's an entrepreneur, and she is in the health and beauty business out here in California, which has been like shut down, reopened for a second, shut down, but then she had some issues with the landlord where her salon spa she rented was, and on some back rent issues, so. We've had some challenges, and she's had to go out and maybe do a little mobile stuff here and there. And I've been able to pick up a couple of freelance, writing creative things that, come and go. They're not solid. They're not great. But and I've been just digging in and busy on a lot of my own projects, some love projects I've wanted to do. And we're just trying to do the best we can with adhering to things, too. We try to. I enjoyed my summer. I went golfing when we were getting $600 a week, and I enjoyed the beach when we were around here and stuff. But we've really been kind of just frugal and only going where we need to go. And
that's it, man.
We made a pact. I did another joke. I said, we were both former service industry people, and we made a pact at the beginning of this that we were going to treat every service industry, every person, every grocery store clerk, every barista, every person, we were going to go out of our way to be nice and kind and say thank you by name and offer to bag our own groceries. And I got to tell you, all of that has felt great. I mean, at home, we still talk to telemarketers like the scum of the earth they are. And oddly, that feels even better. But that's how I cope. That's how I cope with it. I'm like, I get this call. We run to the phone when we know it's spam risk. We can't wait to talk to that person.
Oh, that's amazing. Oh yeah, dude, that's incredible. Well,
that's me in a nutshell to open up. So that's my monologue. But
that's not just it, because this is a perfect segue into one of the reasons why you're here today is you started. You're a wonderful stand-up comic. I love it. You're a huge sports nut. You love sports, but also one of your passions is cooking, man. And you started this new cooking show that you're doing. It's called Eat With Me. And it's like Eat With Meat, but you crossed out the 8 part. It's just Eat With Me.
Yeah, the A and T. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's all vegan dishes, correct? Is it all vegan or just vegetarian?
It's all plant-based, which is I call it plant-based because it sounds a lot less feminine than vegan. Vegan's got that V at the beginning. It's very vaginal. Plant-based is like penis, balls, plant-based. You know what I mean? Like, so I call it plant-based. I don't use the word vegan.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Plant-based. It's a plant-based cooking show.
Plant-based recipes. That's right.
Right. And I've watched several episodes.
I'll be honest. I'll hashtag vegan just for the searches in my post. But yeah, I don't use the word vegan. But yeah, so I decided to do something that, was almost kind of a calling in a way. I've never had really, like that idea of like, but last November, right after we did Italy and everything, we decided to go plant-based, her and I. And we had been really kind of leaning into it more. It's not one of those things where you can have like, a steak 5 nights a week and then 2 burgers and wings and then say, hey, Monday I'm going vegan.
Yeah.
You can't cross that. There's no threshold for that type. So you have to start maneuvering your way and eating less things. And what we did is when we got engaged and moved into with each other, we decided we were only going to be pescatarian in the home.
Okay.
So we were never going to eat land animal or anything like that in the home. If I was out on the road or we went out to dinner, sure, I could order a steak, whatever, but we were never going to get that kind of food delivered to the house. We were never going to get that takeout or whatever, or bring it home and cook. So we just said, hey, that was one step. And that really, we cook at home a lot, as much as we can. And I started leaning into it more, and I was feeling better. And then I saw the documentary Game Changers. I don't know if you saw that on Netflix. It's Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger put together this great documentary, and it's called Game Changers, and it's about going plant-based. And it's really cool because it's not one of these meat's bad for you, meat protein's bad for you. It just highlights the differences in what your body reacts to. And it also shows, I'm not I feel bad for Bambi. I'm not so ethical in this idea. I'm more of aging, right? I'm a comic. I'm an independent. I'm my own doctor, and I'm pushing 50. And, I ref basketball on the side. I'm not just a comedian. When there's actually sports, I'm a high school basketball ref here in California. So throughout the winter time, I don't have to go on the road much and have to do that, because I can make a decent little coin between November and March here doing high school and youth basketball. And that takes a toll on your legs and your knees and your shins. And
sure.
So, and I want to be active. I love to golf. I'm going golfing with some comics tomorrow. I want to be able to walk the course in my 70s and 80s. And I don't want to be in doctor's offices. I don't want to be on these prescription drugs. I don't want to rely on big pharmacy to get me down the road. So that's the choice I made. And then when you kind of see other things, you see how much water it takes to feed one cow that we're going to slaughter, that we're going to kill. And, slaughterhouses. And then the calling really came through. That was just me doing it for me. Yeah. And then throughout the pandemic, and I started seeing the obesity rates and why people were really dying from this virus. They were dying from this virus because their bodies couldn't handle it. And it's a high percentage. And America is rolling off the rails in deaths and cases, severe cases, and long-term side effects. This virus doesn't just beat you up for 2 weeks if you survive it. Yeah. It has respiratory and other cardiac implications down the road. So this was that was when it was the calling. And I just thought to myself, and I had to relearn cooking, guys. I was, quote unquote, people know me. Some people know me as one of the Rose Bowl tailgate legends because I cooked at all those tailgates at the Rose Bowl with Bill Burr. I mean, I was the chef. I smoked pork butts and beef ribs, and I would make a different menu every year, and egg sandwiches and steak sandwiches and all this kind of stuff, wings, and so I had to relearn all this kind of cooking, and that was fun because I had all the time in the world to do it during the early parts of the pandemic, and that's when we were really kind of hitting our groove as being plant-based and doing more things. And my wife has a culinary degree; she just chose to move on and be an entrepreneur in another field. So we wanted to share them. We wanted to say, hey, look, at the end of the day, if anybody is, maybe it's calling to you, and it's hard, it's overwhelming. Like I said, you can't just eat, a BLT for lunch and a strip steak for dinner and say, I'm going vegan tomorrow. Like you have to take these initiatives. And that's the show I want to do is like, I'm not preaching to you. I'm not like sitting here. I just want to say, hey man, look how easy a taco night can be with some Impossible Burger, all plant-based stuff, butter that's, made from olive oil or a sunflower, different kind of oils that aren't dairy. You're not using dairy, you're using nut cheeses and different things and some good stuff. And as it goes on, I'm 4 episodes in, I'm going to do 12 a year. That's my goal, unless, a big production company jumps in. I'm just doing it all myself on some different mounts, and I'm editing it all. And that's a lot of labor, a lot of work goes into the post of how I want to keep it to a 10-minute thing, but to be able to show everything and be able to do some clever play-by-play. That's what I do along with it. I don't try to force the comedy, but if it comes, I allow it to just be fun and just educating and, little tidbits. And that's, there's a lot of people. It's amazing how much you were saying. I'm a sports guy, and I used to do a sports podcast for a long time that gained some little bit of popularity for me. and I'd get some feedback because of my knowledge. But I'll tell you, I get more feedback. I've gotten more feedback personal in 4 episodes of this cooking show than I would on average for episodes that I talked about the brown, or episodes that I talked about this, or, topics, or, so it's really interesting what really inspires people and what people, and so many, I had a guy from Pittsburgh, who lives in Pittsburgh now, but from Cleveland, and he lives there now. And he used to just come to Hilarities all the time when I first started out as an MC in the early 2000s, 2003 and 4. And he just was always coming to see the headliners. He was just a regular patron. And then he started following me, whatever, my career. And he just reached out to me. I never hear from the guy. He reached out to me, private message, saying, hey, him and his wife are overweight. He wanted to thank me. They're working on somebody's meals. He wants to live longer to see his kids grow up.
Wow.
I mean, that one right there was just like, I just got like a softball in my throat when I read that. And, you don't know. And people are like, I love it. Keep them coming. They're great, and, that tells you something. And I think a lot of people really know, like, it's overwhelming. We've been fed a steady diet of bad diet for a long time in this country. And, we take the easy way out and the quick way out. And I'm guilty as anybody for, I was lucky. Maybe I have the genetics. I was always an active guy possibly. And I was able to, keep the terrible eating and drinking and lifestyle of my 20s and 30s, from really kind of taking its toll. I mean, there's some pictures. I look back now and I look at some pictures and I'm like, holy cow, I would go in these ebbs and flows. I was a crash dieter.
No, man.
That's what I used to do.
Wait a minute. I got a theory about this. I got a theory because you're from Ohio. I'm from Ohio. And I think, and Pike, being from Minnesota, it's time of year, dude. I'm telling you, it's like there was a great comic and she had a great joke and she was on, I saw it was on Conan, and she was like, I'm from Ohio, and I was like, I perked up, and she said, she goes, she lives in LA now, and she said, like, in LA there's not this, it's hard to tell what season it is because it's all kind of consistent weather, but her body tells her what season it is because it just tries to put on a meat coat. You know what I mean? That's what she said. And I think that's what it is, man. I think it's being from cold weather, your body, you just start packing it on for no reason.
It is. And that's why I think, it's so important to break. You got to break, right? You got to break from certain little identities. And you got to, just like a depression, a regret, or whatever haunts you in your life that sometimes people get depressed about and they let it linger, and you've got to deal with that and you've got to shed that to move on. Seasonal depression is the same way. I think, you get trained, right, to be depressed and to feel like this is the time where I just go hibernate. And, but, and to each their own, right? Like I'm not sitting here going, oh, I'm not condemning it. I'm saying I've changed. It's like Rocky IV is like, you can change, I can change.
Yes.
At the end, I remember that. Yeah.
But I'm here to attest that. I'm here to attest that I'm more clear-headed. I'm more creative. I wouldn't have been able to do this show as quickly and with the idea. I would have never come up with Eat with Meat, crossing it out, and the emblem. And I would have never come up with that if I wasn't so clear-headed. And if I wasn't, I feel clear. I mean, you're actually cutting into my walk. I'm dressed like this because as soon as this interview is over, I'm going for 6 miles. I've been going 6 miles a day, 5 days a week.
Good Lord.
So yeah, but you know what? And when I started this last year and I was reffing all these games, I was reffing sometimes. I would ref a JV varsity or a freshman JV 2-3 times a week. And then on the weekends, pop up at 6 a.m. last December, January, February. And I would ref youth ball from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m., 7, 8, 9 games in a row. And I didn't feel anything in my shins and my ankles. The anti-inflammation was unbelievable how it just reduced. I used to, before, when I was eating meat and all that other stuff, I would ref 6-8 games in a weekend, and I mean I couldn't step out of bed on a Monday morning. My shins and my ankles. So all of that. I mean, all of it. My skin. My wife's like, God, your skin's getting so much better. Like, so
right, yeah,
it's true. And she's 15 years younger than me, so that's.
You're like,
that's
please, yes,
thing.
Keep commenting on how good my skin looks, please, yes.
And she's an esthetician. That's what she does.
Yeah,
now.
exactly.
So,
yeah, that's why you're like, please.
Yeah. So I mean, but anyway, I'm just here to attest that, like, and you know what? I'm even a guy that says this on the show. Hey. If you were playing sports and you went 6 out of 7 in anything, if you shot 6 out of 7 from the field, threw 6 out of 7 from quarterback, you'd be doing amazing. And I'll tell you something. If you can even work your way to the discipline, if you can get yourself disciplined to even say, I'm going to go 6 for 7 every week. Because if you're going 6 for 7 every week, then you're going plant-based 25 times a month. And maybe if you get to 6 for 7, maybe you can go like, hey, I want to get my percentage. I'm going to go 13 for 14. And maybe that cheat day or that cheat meal, whatever, maybe it's just a cheat meal. Maybe it's just pizzas on Sunday for football. And then now all of a sudden you're 13 out of 14. Now you're only missing 2 days a month. Now what you're doing is you are committing to a plant-based lifestyle for your body. And your body will be able to flush and to keep all of those toxins, the dairies and these steroids and these hormones that are in all these meats and chickens and stuff, and because those don't go away, especially when you just layer them. It's just like taking opiates, right? You just and all of a sudden you're just eating chicken one day and meat the next. And unless you're buying the best farm raised beef at $30 a pound, this slaughterhouse stuff is carrying crap. I mean, the stuff that you're pulling out of the packaging, that's another thing you can learn. You're pulling the packagings out of the grocery stores that are right for everybody to grab. That's slaughterhouse shit.
Yeah.
That is slaughterhouse shit.
Well, hold on a second, though, because
it carries bacteria.
Well, I saw one video where you made an agreement with your wife that you're allowed to cheat like once a quarter or something like that. It was like 4th of July.
Once a season. So here's what I got. I got a one a season. Use it or lose it. It's a use it or lose it too. If I don't eat in the winter season my cheat meal, and it's just a cheat meal. It's not like a cheat day. I can't like set the alarm for 6 a.m. and just start going in on a pound of bacon for breakfast, and then have brunch with like eggs and then go to lunch and go to like a turkey bar or something. I can't go do like it's a cheat meal. So and I get here's what I get. This was the contract.
Yeah, let me hear the contract.
Really good, I've been really good. So the contract was 1 cheat meal a season, use it or lose it. Cheat anytime I'm in New York City, I get a slice of cheese from one place that I go to, or 2 places that I go to, which is a pizzeria named Scars and another one called Le Industrie, one in Brooklyn and one in the Village. Okay, just cheese slices. That's it. And if we ever travel internationally, I get the fare. I'm not spending $5,000 to go to Italy and not having prosciutto, or you know what I mean? Come on, or whatever we do.
Yes.
Come on, and so that's the deal. But the good thing is we haven't traveled. I haven't gone to New York since the pandemic or anything. And I've done my meals. So my cheats were. So far, I did a spring cheat, which was my favorite pizza joint in here, Del Mar Pizza. It's fantastic. So I get a pepperoni pizza, and I did that. And I was really moving along at a really good clip, And then we were about a month into the pandemic, and I was just like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to, because I was like, I might be able to go without my cheat. I was thinking I might be able to go without even using the spring one. And then I'm like, screw it. And then July 4th, I made short ribs because at that point I just wanted to like cook I wanted a project to do. Yeah. And short ribs, my marinade, it's an overnight thing. It's a slow cook Dutch oven process. I watched the whole thing. I was watching every single one. I posted the whole thing. That's right. I posted the whole thing. I loved it. Yeah, that was good. So I did that, and then on our anniversary, the first day of fall is our anniversary, the 21st. We went out to a really nice Italian. September 21st was our first year anniversary. So we went out to a nice Italian restaurant out here, and I got, that's my favorite. My favorite cuisine is Italian, fine Italian. Meatballs, prosciutto, caprese salad with fresh mozzarella, all that kind of good stuff. So I did the fixins there, and I'm debating whether my winter one is going to be on Christmas or New Year's Eve. I haven't decided yet.
Well, you're doing it right. You're playing the right cards here. It's not like you're just blowing it on a cheeseburger from a fast food joint.
I'm not like because I didn't get a gig or the part, I'm just running off and just shoving my face in something and hiding behind the dumpster with tears. No, I got this well thought out, guys. This is I'd be a fraud. My show would be a fraud if I didn't have this well planned and well executed. Now, my goal is now here's what I set a goal for 2021, and my goal is not to use the domestics. Hopefully, we can travel, right? Hopefully, we get a travel in. Or I go to New York for a gig. That's what I'm praying for. So my goal is I'm not going to use the domestic meals.
Okay.
And I'm also going to quit drinking for 2021. Not that I drink a lot anymore, but New Year's Eve, we're going to have a little wine and some margaritas. And then 2021, I'm going dry.
All year? Really? The whole year?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Well, I mean, if the Browns win the Super Bowl, I'm but no, I'm serious. I'm gonna do that. That's my next goal. So my next goal is to get to that, and and then
you're gonna live forever.
I don't want to live forever. I'm not one of those guys. I just want to drop dead healthy on the golf course at 85. Just give me 85 and put me down when I don't know what's coming. I don't want to. I just don't want to be chronic. And I don't want to live like that, And that's where this is going for a lot of people with the obesity rates and how, America, it's sad. It's not fat shaming, but, it's the facts that, people are chronically, hospitals are full of lots of people, not just COVID patients,
Yeah.
So,
well, they say, I was listening to NPR and they were saying that, and this is years ago, but the number one underlying health condition for all these, the number one killer is heart disease, right? And everything that associates with that. The number two is cancer. The number three, and it goes down. And they're saying the underlying condition for most of 90% of everyone, it's all obesity. They're it's just obesity. Yeah, it's not just
all it is.
Yeah,
it's all it is.
The body can't handle it.
And nope. And we've got to do more for ourselves. People, I think I really just try to we walk to the grocery store. It's a little bit of a walk, and I'll tell you what. Sometimes my arms are burning. I'm carrying 2 or 3 bags, two plastics in one and something. But you know what? By the time you get home, you put it all down. You're I was better for that. I was better than I had. We started giving our bags to the valet, and nobody carried their bags to their room anymore. Nobody walks up a flight of stairs to get to the 3rd floor anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's just all a little bit of being. And that's what you're joking. I'm going to live forever. But these are the things I'm deciding to be cognizant of: are taking more steps every day.
Sure.
Making sure it's 5 days a week, eating these types of things, making sure I'm getting my proteins. Proteins are one thing that I'm going to go over in some future episodes, because a lot of people are well, where do you get your protein? And it's well, there's a lot of different ways you can get your proteins, and lentils is a great one. If you're plant-based, you'll eat lentils like a stoner eats cereal. I mean, it's just, I swear, they are just oh my God, just you come home from work and you're give me something,
Yeah, but I gotta commend you on this though, because this is what I think is the coolest thing about Eat With Me. And my wife and I, we watch a lot of cooking shows as it is. So it was cool to see that, especially, we watch, we started on Food Network and stuff, but we've even migrated over to YouTube, and we're watching a lot of cooking shows over there on YouTube.
There's some great ones.
Great ones. So I was excited that you did it, but I I was like really happy that you're also doing other shit besides comedy. And I I was telling Pike, I told you this at the beginning when the pandemic was all going on, that you got to come out of this thing better. That's like my goal. Yeah. Come out of the pandemic better, because most people aren't going to come out of this fucking thing better than they went in. You know what I mean? Even if everything has hit the fan, like you said, Jason, like, comedy shut down. Cooking things shut down. Your wife, she's in the beauty industry, shut down. It's like, Jesus, how do you still come out of this on top? You know what I mean? And I think by either pivoting or exploring your passions and also bringing you in, like your personality and what you could do with comedy, but also bringing it into the culinary world, I think it's amazing. And it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of balls to do that and just go, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. It's something new. You know what I mean? I don't care what people think or whatever. And I'm happy that the reaction has been positive, because I started, again, I like it. It's a great thing to watch. I watch it on Instagram. I don't know if do you post it other places?
Well, here's what I'm going to do is once I get to episode 6, so I have a Vimeo account where my comedy special is, and you can purchase it there. And then I put the Vimeo that the main episode lives in a Vimeo link. That's where it houses where I can start sharing it and everything else. When I get to episode 6, once I get to episode 6, I'm going to do 12. I'm doing 2 a month for 6 months, and then I'm just going to take. It's too hot to cook in the summer, and I like to be active, and I'm hoping. So this is going to be season 2. I'm going to come right back around in November again and take it up a notch and maybe go a little bit more ambitious with some of the really fine delicacies of plant-based, and even get like really concentrated on health a little bit more than just right now. I just don't want to intimidate people. I want to show them how they can make a Taco Tuesday. I want to show them how they can make an easy pizza. I want to show them how plant-based is. So I want people to come along with me right now, and we're learning together. That's my first line of my opening episode is, let's learn this thing together. I'm teaching myself the whole ball of wax. I love it. So, but my whole point, and I appreciate everything you said, and not all the feedback's great. I mean, I got a lot of old buddies, new heads from Ohio, giving me shit about it. There's still those guys.
Yeah, of course.
But no, and the thing is you're right. And I was telling a buddy of mine, and getting back to coming out of this. Right. And it's not just this. I'm trying to, I have another little passion project. My dad was a basketball coach. I'm trying to do these little vignette documentaries only. I'm building little trailers, and I'm building little stories that I'm hoping to put like little 10 or 15 minute, like 30 for 30s out on some of his teams and some of his rivalries and just things like that. I have all this, material and content. So it's something I love and want to share with people. I'm working on stuff like that. But I told a friend of mine that was down a little bit back in Ohio, and he's in the restaurant business, and and just tough. He's just dealing with it a tough time, right? His kids are having a tough time with school and remote and all the kind of just all that stuff. And he's just, and I just told him, the one thing, echoing what you were just saying, is, the clouds will part. Let yourself be led by the light inside of you. If you do that and you just follow that light, that when the clouds part, you will be ready. And the people that do that allow themselves to do that and aren't screaming in the face of this all the time and flailing at delusions of who and why and what and all the things that are to blame and what those are the people, the former, not the latter, that will come out, as you're saying. And I can tell that that's the attitude you're taking is, man, and that's the only advice I could give to anybody that might be thinking of, what do I do next? Well, dig deep and figure out something that you love that nobody else can do or something, and even if the start of it is maybe for somebody to start to kind of might be going Christmas morning and helping a food kitchen out, or just taking a bag of something to the food bank on Christmas morning might be the start to just saying, okay, that inspired me to get a little more creative and do something for myself to make myself feel better. And it'll make other people feel better if you do it, because like what you just said, I'm getting people that are feeding back the feedback you gave me. I appreciate it, man. Like, I've gotten some great calls from people early on the first couple episodes that I didn't even know were paying attention to my career or my life, and some people that really I admire and that were like, dude, this is great. I mean,
that's amazing.
I watched the whole thing, and who knows? My wife loves it. We're having fun in the kitchen together. I got to tell you, I've got 4 episodes out. I don't know how many I've got in the can. I don't know how many things I've just screwed up that I take. And I'm like, no, that ain't going in. That's not an episode, because I did it for the first time, right?
Yeah.
So, but and so it's kept us kind of doing something together, because she's a great cook and has a lot of great ideas, and she comes into some of the episodes with me, and I'm gonna keep featuring her a little bit. And she's a little stage fright. She's not a in front of the camera type person.
That's all right.
She leaves that for me, but she loves what the little added ingredient is with her in the show, and showing some of her, and she's got some amazing recipes, being an actual culinary degree chef. So
amazing.
Yeah, we're having fun, man. We're making the best of it.
Absolutely
San
love
Diego isn't the worst place to live when you're going through it. You know?
Come on, give me. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 6 mile walk. It's like
we're going to the farm. We're going to the farmers market the Sunday after Christmas. How good is that? I got to get I got to get some fresh tomatoes for my caprese salad. I think I'm going to make. I think New Year's Eve is going to be my cheat night.
Oh,
I think I'm going to get one of those pizzas that I told you about, and then make my own caprese salad with fresh mozzarella.
I absolutely love it. As long as it's not soggy.
Right?
Yes, that's exactly right. There's nothing wrong with what's up, Pike?
I got to say, I living in Florida, so I moved what you said, fresh food. I was so excited to have the oranges, right? Florida's big orange state. I get to the grocery store, in the oranges, I look at the label, and they're from California. I'm like, what? It made no sense. Logistically, I could not figure out.
What the hell?
That's funny. The people in Florida must be smoking out of their oranges. They're probably using them. They're probably using them to smoke some, but they're probably taking all the orange. There's just a bunch of oranges on the ground with little screens in them.
That's
burnout screens
I've seen them
all over Florida.
That's the Tropicana straw sticking out. It's for smoking bath salts.
Exactly. Orange flavored bath salts, right?
Yeah, dude. Jesus. Look, Jason, I am more than delighted that you've made a presence on the show. Thank you so much for doing it. I got a plug. It's at Eat With Me TV on Instagram. Go there, see it for yourself. I'll drop the Vimeo link in the description of this episode.
And if anybody wants to as well, which I'd like to also offer in these pandemic times, and it's kind of been successful, if you go to my networks, any of my socials, I have my first comedy special up, and I sell it for $5 download. But I've also, throughout the pandemic, especially people that might be in the restaurant and service industry, if you Venmo or PayPal me anything you want, $1, whatever, I will send you your own private link that you can download and own my headlining special from the Comedy Store in La Jolla. And you can maybe see my first special that I put out, which I'm really proud of, that I did myself, and low budget indie style, but in an intimate club. So that's an offer for anybody. If you wanted to just give somebody a stocking stuffer for Christmas and say, or this isn't airing, but whatever. I'm doing that almost just indefinitely until I shoot my next one, because the economy and people are rough, and send me a Venmo, a PayPal email. Say, hey man, I got $1 or whatever, and I'll get you out a special. Yeah.
Isn't that nice? Look at that. Look at that. This is the special. This is Pay It Backwards. Is this the one you're talking about?
Pay It Backwards. Yeah, my debut special, Pay It Backwards, which I really liked, and which is really funny because I shot it right before our wedding, and then by the time I edited and got it out, I released it like a week before the freaking end of February, a week before the lockdown. I mean, I was doing all this big release stuff, like trying to get people on board, and then everybody just went. But people were still really good in the beginning, and then I did when the pandemic hit. That was the idea, was for servers and bartenders to say, you know, $1. You give me $1, I'll send them out to anybody or for anybody. And then I just did like a 48-hour middle of the pandemic. I did a 48-hour thing, and I said, just post anybody's name on my wall that works in healthcare, that's in emergency rooms or the front lines, and I'll send it to them for free. So over about a 48-hour span, I sent out like 159 free specials to people that I didn't even know, mostly that I didn't even know. And
awesome.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to do that here. I just coordinated with some reps from the fire department out here in California. You know, the guys that fight all the forest, men and women that fight the wildfires. And then I'm going to do a similar, they're going to send a newsletter out in the union, and they can just send me something if they want. And I'm going to donate my comedy special to any firefighter.
That's killer, dude. That's so. That's a brilliant idea too. It's like a way. How could you say thank you? It's a good.
The whole point is pay it forwards with pay it backwards. That's where I'm going with it. So
I absolutely love it. Make sure you're following him. You're at Lawhead's Court on Instagram. I put your Twitter up here because I see you on Twitter all the time.
That's Twitter. Yep.
At Jason
Love
Lawhead.
It, man. Those are where I'm usually at. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jason Lawhead, you're the man. Thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. Pike night meeting you, Matt. Enjoy. Go Browns. We didn't even get to talk about them, but hopefully, hey, I will do this interview anytime. Especially if we could just talk Browns next time. We don't have to talk food and anything.
Yes.
We don't have to. Well, listen, we don't have to be inspiring all the time.
All right, we'll have you
a great
back.
Christmas,
We'll
guys.
talk Browns.
Be safe.
All right, man. Take it easy. Thanks so much.
See you, man.
All right.
Jason Lawhead, how fun was that? What a good dude. Love that guy. He's an amazing man. Make sure you follow him and his new cooking show, Eat With Me. It's a plant-based cooking show. Make sure you're checking that out. It's at Eat With Me TV. All right, man, let's get to the news that matters.
Yes, this is the news that matters. Yes, this is the news that matters. Holy shit.
Yep. News that matters, Pike. And we start with rapper. I don't know who this is. Azalea Banks. Have you ever heard of her?
Okay, yeah. It's a lady, obviously.
Yeah.
Good stuff,
lady.
Pike. All right.
Her name's Azalea Banks.
I know of her. I couldn't tell you many things, but
apparently she's a witch.
Good enough for now.
Well, I guess she's a witch. Like witch.
Like an actual witch, or are you trying to call her a bitch without doing that?
No, like a witch. Dude, you know what she did? Apparently she killed a chicken in her closet. She beheaded a chicken and there was blood all over the place. And then
what are we doing?
Dude, here's what I don't understand. After you do witchcraft and you cut the head off a chicken, you smear the blood in a circle, and you do the pentagram, and you light the candles, and you say some shit. Mm-hmm. And then, they're like, I bring this back to life and all this nonsense. After it doesn't come back to life, aren't you like, well, fuck, now I got to clean all this up? It's like, God damn it. How do you keep being a witch after it doesn't work? I know. You're like, well, it doesn't work. Okay. Back to being a normal person. Example. Isn't that the definition of crazy, right? Where something, you don't get the results and you continue to do it over and over again. That's what they say. What do they call it? Not crazy, but insane. Insanity. That's what Einstein defined it as at one point. Yeah. Okay. Continuing to do the same thing, expecting different results, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Which makes sense because these people are insane that believe in this shit. You know what I mean? That's why it's always my goal to buy a house that's someone's been murdered in, or there was witch seances. I was like, yes, let me buy the house because that shit's on sale. You know what I mean? Let me immediately I'll be the first. Yeah, I'll buy the haunted one. Yeah, no one wants to live here. It's really scary and dangerous. Give it, please. You know what I mean? I don't believe in any of that shit. And I am 1,000% confident that all of it's nonsense. So I completely would live there. They're like, you're really going to put your kids through that, huh? Yeah, my kids will never find out. They'll be like, wait a minute. Our house was haunted, Dad? They're like, yeah. Whatever. You grew up in a haunted house. And guess what? Nothing ever happened. ever.
I've seen the films. They're the ones that are going to know what's happening. They're going to be telling, like, oh, I got a friend. And you're like, oh, yeah, who's your friend? Oh, her name's Gloria, and she's in my closet. And you're going to be like, yeah, right. Meanwhile, your kids are fucking haunted their whole childhood.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
Can't be
my
good.
kid is dating a girl named Gloria who he's hiding from me. No. Back to Azalea Banks, though. Azalea Banks is a witch. She's cut off chickens' heads before live on stream and whatever. And now
I've done that.
The video no longer exists, or else I'd show it. But yesterday on Instagram or Twitter, one of the social media platforms, she exhumed her dead cat's lifeless body, naturally, and boiled it in water and trying to bring it back to life, and was like saying some,
Exhumed? So she had buried it? Is that what you're saying?
She buried it months ago and took up the dead cat and boiled it in water and tried to bring it back to life. Later showing the skull, the cat of the skull.
Oh my God.
And then had it on the counter or wall or shelf or something.
I hate this woman. Shut it down.
Yeah,
somebody just arrest her.
Yeah, arrest her.
Whatever you got to do. Boil her. I don't care.
Jesus Christ. She didn't kill the cat.
Really?
Wait a minute. Don't kill a human for boiling a dead cat, okay? I mean, the cat was dead. It's not like she killed the cat. She loved the cat. She wanted to bring it back to life.
Yeah, well, we're boiling cats. I feel like the next logical step is boiling something that may be alive. I'm just saying. Let's nip this at the bud.
Here's what I'm saying. It's fake. As soon as I read this, I was like, fake. I guarantee this shit is fake. She's doing this for attention naturally. She got it because it was trending, you know what I mean? Worldwide. Everyone's talking about her boiling a cat. And she's like, I love, the cat's name was Lucifer. And the cat, you know what I mean?
Of course.
Yeah, so come on. This is fake. Fake.
That's even worse. I think I hate her more if it is fake. Let's boil her anyway.
Jesus Christ. It's
well,
fake.
what the hell?
Dude, come on. She's not boiling a cat. She's not really a witch. She's doing it for attention, dude. She's a rapper. Why would you stream it live if you weren't doing it for attention? All right.
Because you're insane?
Well, yes, that too. She is insane. But she's also thirsty for everyone to look at her because she's trying to make it as a musician. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there you go. I mean, that's...
Okay, well...
That's
I hate her.
You hate her. Right. Not an Azalea Banks fan. All right.
Couldn't even tell you what she looks like. I hate her. And for some reason, I feel like I hated her already. I don't know what it was, but in my head, it felt that way. Yeah, I know. I'm a hateful man, apparently.
Well, I thought it was Iggy Azalea first, but it's Azalea Banks, which is very confusing. Yep. It is. I have 6 brain cells, so I can only process so many names with the same syllable. So,
right.
You know,
a lot of crossover
syllabic?
there.
I don't know what the fuck's going on. What do you got?
All right. So there's a programmer in San Francisco, pretty smart guy. You don't get to be a programmer in what do they call it? What do they call that area of the country?
The Bay Area.
No. Like the tech area where all the tech stuff is.
Silicon Valley.
Silicon Valley. Thank you. Woo! My wife yelled it at me from the kitchen. So this guy had a shit ton of Bitcoin. Get this. I'm not a big Bitcoin guy. You might have to educate me a little bit on this, but he had an encrypted hard drive, right? A place to protect all this Bitcoin worth $220 million.
Jeez.
A shit ton of Bitcoin. So get this. He, on this hard drive, had it set up where you only get 10 guesses at the password before it shuts down. It locks itself up forever. Which to me is kind of insane. Like that there's not a, I forgot my password option. Yeah. So he being a smart guy, he's like, all right, whatever, fuck, I'm not going to forget my password. I'm a genius. Well, he has guessed now 8 times incorrectly.
Oh,
meaning
Jesus.
He is now spending every night not sleeping because he's trying to think desperately of what his password is because he knows he's only got 2 more guesses before he loses $220 million just in thin air. Gone.
Oh, my God. That is brutal.
Unbelievable. And you know what they said? I was reading about Bitcoin and that there's like, billions of dollars of Bitcoin in existence, but there's like a good chunk of that is in the same situation that this money could potentially be in. That is just like gone. It's just been locked up.
They lost them. Yeah, that's because like the wallet password that you get isn't like, your typical password that you type in on I got to log into Windows and you just bloop, 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 type it in. Dude, it's the most insane shit. My brother got my son some Bitcoin. Not a lot. I mean, we're talking about fractions of a fraction of a fraction of a Bitcoin for when he was born, like 4 years ago. He's like, hey, man, here you go. Here's my gift to your son. I was like, thanks, appreciate it. And like, now that Bitcoin is crushing it right now, it's worth so much money. I was like, hey, whatever happened to that, Bitcoin that my brother got? And my wife's like, oh, I still have the password. I was like, cool, because my wife is really good about that shit. She's really organized. And I'm like, cool, let's check it out. So I thought it'd be like a little password. Dude, that thing is like, I'm not joking, like 40 letters long with like hyphens and numbers and special characters and capital. And I was like, oh my God, I had to like, oh man.
So it's not something you're just going to remember. Yeah. This guy, he had a piece of paper, lost the piece of paper. So I don't know how the fuck would he even begin to remember that?
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if you can set it to where it's a normal password. I imagine you don't want that because if this guy has $220 million, you don't want the same password as your Facebook account. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it shouldn't be like Blink 182 with a dollar sign or something. Yeah.
Right. But it sounds like this guy, he was worried about, he's a programmer, so he's big on like encryption and shit. So he bought this hard drive that seizes the hard drive, right? Is that what you said? It's on a special hard drive?
Yep.
Dude, that's a game show. That's amazing.
This should be like when he gets down to the last guess, it should be broadcast on television.
I was listening to NPR not that long ago, and there's some tech lady, this is like maybe last year, 2 years ago. They were talking about Bitcoin, and she brought it on. She's a writer for like computer magazine. I don't know what the fuck, but it's like PC magazine, like one of these tech writers in Silicon Valley. Or she's like, yeah, I bought Bitcoin when it came out, like 10 years ago, and now I don't know where the password is, but I'm not worried about it. And dude, I bet she has like $700 million because she threw
10 years ago.
10 years ago, she threw down like $5,000 in Bitcoin.
Oh,
when it was, like cents. A single Bitcoin was like, fractions of a dollar. She threw down
when
like
was that? Because I remember it kind of blowing up, or the first time I was made aware of it, people were like, you got to get this. And I of course, did zero research on it, ignored everybody.
Yeah.
As you would. So when was that, or when did it start?
Well, I mean, it's been over, it's like a decade old, I think now at this point. And I watched a documentary about it, and it's crazy. So they don't know who created it. They think they knew this guy who he went by a name, Satoshi. Oh shit, I'm not going to remember who created it, but it's like a Japanese name, Satoshi. Can't remember. I think that's the first name. Anyway, some guy who claimed to be this dude. They don't know who it is. They think it could be like 5 different guys out of California, out of Silicon Valley that created this thing. But the guy they think went by, he never claimed it, but he was he was at Stanford, and he was all these other guys. They're all working on the same kind of concept of the blockchain technology, which is what Bitcoin runs off of, and they kind of invented it. But he died. He died of like cancer.
Oh no!
So like, if he really was that guy, we'll never know now. You know what I mean? So like, it's insane. We don't know who created Bitcoin. We don't know who kind of like invented this blockchain technology kind of a thing. It's kind of cool. It's like the shroud of mystery. But
it sure is. It's a wild mystery to me because I have no idea I've never heard blockchain technology.
So blockchain technology, it's like, and in 5 years, 10 years, all banks will be using blockchain technology. It might not be Bitcoin. I'm not saying Bitcoin itself, but the system that Bitcoin runs off of is this idea of blockchain, where multiple computers have an open ledger of transactions. So nobody can like fudge numbers, essentially.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like multiple computers, it's spread out, this ledger of transactions. So it's kind of, it's like in order to get to the next transaction, the transaction before that preceded it has to check out. It has to be okay. You understand? So that's why it's like a chain. That's why they're calling it blockchain. And I hope I am explaining that right. But it's pretty brilliant. It's a brilliant way. But in terms of Bitcoin, there's only so many Bitcoin in the world. There's like 24 million Bitcoin or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
In order to get the Bitcoin, computers have to mine for the coins. And again, if I'm not explaining this right, please let me know. Comment, yell at me that I fucked it up, but I'm trying my best here. So in order to mine, you have computers that have to solve super complex math problems that take a very long time to figure out. And that's how they mine coins. Well, it would take a single computer super long to do it. So what people do is they jump on the same math problem. They kind of network their computers to do it together. And these are miners. These are Bitcoin miners. So you have people all around the world running computers 24 hours a day, solving math problems, aka mining Bitcoin. And once you solve the problem, you get the Bitcoin. Well, if everyone jumps on the problem, then they split the coin. So they each get a fraction of the Bitcoin. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
So there's only so many Bitcoins able to be mined. Every single time one is mined, the math problem gets harder. And then harder and harder and harder and harder. And then computers are running software to solve these math problems. So that's why the value of Bitcoin keeps going up, because there's a limited number of Bitcoin in the world. Okay. After that, it's done. After the 24 mil is done. So once you have the Bitcoin, you've got it. You know what I mean? It's not like they can just keep printing money. So that's why the value keeps going up.
Damn. So at what point can you cash this out into US dollars?
You can, at any time. That's the other thing. So that part's like buying and selling stock. You know what I mean? So yeah, they have Bitcoin, you know, where you can go on the marketplace and then sell your Bitcoin, and then buyers are constantly buying and selling Bitcoin, and people are trading it like it's stock, which is nuts.
So at some point here, everybody's going to be rich but me.
Well, no, I mean, that's the thing.
What it feels like.
Yeah, everyone, you can have a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of Bitcoin. Think of like dollars and then cents. And then that's what you mean. I think eventually that's what it is. If you have one Bitcoin right now, you have I think it's $23,000 is worth, one Bitcoin's worth 23 grand.
Jesus.
You know, but eventually, if people keep using it, which again, Bitcoin's not the only cryptocurrency, but if people keep using it, then the value is going to go up. There's just intrinsic value because people believe in it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, people are already accepting Bitcoin for payments. And why wouldn't you?
Dude, I saw an NFL player asked that he be paid his like millions and millions of dollars of salary in Bitcoin. And they did. They actually paid him.
Why? I mean, Dude, there's
you don't
two
need
things that
yeah.
if you invested at the beginning of this pandemic, you would be crushing it right now, and that is Tesla and Bitcoin. Those are like the two best investments you could have made in the last, I don't know, 7-8 years. I mean, the return has just been insane. And Bitcoin, don't get me wrong, Bitcoin is highly volatile. It can drop at any second. You have problems with it, like this fucking guy. He can't get his $220 million because at the end of the day, the reason why he went with Bitcoin and not the banks was because of security reasons, right? He didn't trust banks, so he threw money into Bitcoin. Yeah. Well, those security reasons are the reason why he can't get his goddamn $220 million. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same.
Yeah, dude.
It's,
brutal.
It's the double-edged sword. Are you going to do it? Are you going to throw down Bitcoin? Are you going to buy some?
Dude, I'm still figuring out my 401k, which, by the way, I have a question for you once we're done here. I do have to consult you financially.
Yeah,
because that's okay. So no, I don't know.
Financial advisor.
You are.
Don't let me be your financial advisor.
It's better than me. It's better than going in alone. So, all right. I guess I'll invest or something.
Yeah. I would just. Here's the thing, dude. Here's what. By the way, you know what we'll do? Ask me a 401k question. We'll put it up on the Patreon. Does that make sense? Because I got a lot of people asking me all kinds of financial stuff, and I love talking about it, but I just don't want to. If you're not interested, I don't want to bore anybody too much. But if you are, jump on the Patreon and then ask me any kind of question there, and I'd love to answer it and all that kind of stuff.
Cool.
But speaking of NFL players that got paid in Bitcoin, Evander Kane, Silicon Valley, he plays for the San Jose Sharks.
That's a cool name. I've never heard of that person.
Yeah, it sounds like a goddamn comic book character. Evander Kane. Yeah.
Come on. Jesus.
Yeah, he's a hockey player, but he's broke, bro. He filed for bankruptcy. So he's already made $50 million in the NHL. And he filed for bankruptcy saying that he's $27 million in debt.
How does that happen?
I don't know. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. That's brutal, man.
The fact that you were able to get that much in debt, like who's allowing that?
I know, I agree. He said that in the last month, he has $1.2 million of gambling debt.
That's another good question. Like, any gambling, you don't just get fucking like credits or, it's like, how do you bet that much without paying it back before they're like, hey, asshole, we're not going to let you bet anymore? Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to understand, but it happens all the time. So somebody's doing it.
Yeah, they extend a line, like a line of credit, and you start gambling with that shit. 1.2. I mean, he has assets. It says he filed for bankruptcy, so you have to list the value of your assets. He has assets of $10 million. He says he's $27 million in debt. He has, I think he has 4 years left on his contract. No, I'm trying to remember. Yeah. I don't remember in here. But anyway, $1.5 million in gambling losses in the last 12 months. He says he has several dependents living with him. Oh, he's in his third year of a 7-year contract for $49 million.
It's hard to understand how he could be so deep into gambling, but also functioning enough to be a professional hockey player. Like, I don't know how you can have those two worlds existing at the same time.
I know. What if he's gambling on, if he's pulling the Pete Rose, what if he's gambling on hockey? He's betting
probably is. I wouldn't put it past him. Dude, I know nothing about him.
Yeah. Well, if you're $1.5 million in debt, you're betting on everything. Mm-hmm. Or you just made like one giant horrible bet.
Yeah, he could have, thought it was a for sure thing. It wasn't.
Dude,
that'll happen.
Yeah. I remember when you came to Vegas and you gambled on your Packers that you thought were guaranteed.
I told my wife, how pathetic is that? I said, I convinced my wife, who's never bet in her life, that it was a for sure thing. So she bet on the Packers. And it was the most unbelievable loss. They lost to the Bills, who at that time was like a fucking joke. So not only did they not cover the spread, they lost the game. It was the most painful 3 hours in Vegas.
Oh my God. How much did you bet? How much did you guys collectively lose, you and your wife?
It was like $150 or something.
Yeah.
So
brutal.
Oh yeah. I mean, we didn't bankrupt us, but it's still, it was brutal. It was brutal. So
you felt it. You felt it. The most I've ever lost gambling is like $20. And still, I was like gutted. I was like, oh God damn.
It sucks your soul out of you.
I couldn't be a degenerate gambler. That's the saddest addiction. Like,
yeah, it's like it really is. They say it's the one that most likely results in your death.
Yeah. Look,
I mean, because so many people so many people end up losing everything, and there's no option, so they just commit suicide. Like, it happens a lot.
Well, that's the thing.
It's sad.
Yeah. I can imagine, I've never done heroin, but I imagine the withdrawal is awful and just the worst feeling in the world. But there's imagine the loneliness of losing $1.2 million and not having a single thing left when you're, dude, no way.
Dude, you can like you say, you can recover from addictions like drugs or alcohol.
Right.
And you might still have something left. But the gambling, it's like that's with you forever now. You're just fucked. You're just absolutely fucked.
God, dude, that's awful.
Yeah,
that's brutal. That's brutal. What's your last story?
Well, it's much more exciting than that previous conversation. Oh, so sad. So many sad things happening. Okay, so this New York City couple, they've been accused of forging multiple tests for COVID positive. Now, the guy in this relationship, he's been charged with a bunch of drug charges, like 12 different felony drug charges. So he's supposed to be going to court. So a couple months ago, before the court date, he said that his partner had COVID. Well, they pushed the trial back, ended up getting to the trial once the person recovered, and I'm doing big air quotes, recovered. So then he goes to jail, and they find out that he had lied about this COVID test. So he was using his partner to forge a positive test, and they found out. So now I don't know if he's getting punished anymore. It doesn't say, but I thought it was just a clever little way to delay the court sentence.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, convicts, they're like fucking MacGyver. You know, they can just the ingenuity. Like, you want to learn how to build a city on Mars? You put convicted felons on that planet. They're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What the fuck we got them making license plates and street signs for? Put them on something like that.
Yeah.
We're underutilizing them.
Exactly. Why aren't we like, hey, here's cancer. Figure this out, and we'll let you out of prison. Like, everyone's going to be a doctor by the time they get out of there.
Meanwhile, they're doing janitor work at my elementary school in the summer.
Right.
The fuck is that?
Yes. You know what really is the greatest way to find out how smart someone is? Prison. I mean, that's really it. I mean, you really want to see like the ingenuity of a human brain. Prison will really bring it out. You want to make someone give it their all? Throw them behind bars for 20 years, and they will figure out how to get out of that fucking cage, man. I'm telling you, that's the easiest way to do it. We should absolutely give climate change, heart disease, cancer, all these problems.
World hunger, everything.
Hunger, yes, homelessness. All the worst things in the world, we give them to the people that are usually causing other problems. You know what I mean? And then just 5 years we've solved it.
Dude, yeah. Because, you and I would love to solve those things. With too much going on.
Yeah,
they don't. Just sitting around.
You don't solve problems with Netflix. If you have a subscription to these services, dude, fucking YouTube, there's no, you know how often I look on YouTube how to do something? all the fucking time.
Absolutely.
All the time. And guess what? It's usually the same video I watched before. I don't retain that information. I don't remember because I know it's there. I can just go there anytime. I'm like a walking goldfish, with a memory that I just like lose shit instantly. Oh, I know how to fix that. You know what I mean? As a man, my dad knows how to fix all kinds of shit. He could change the brakes on a car. I would YouTube it, change it, and immediately forget how brakes work and do it. You know what I mean?
Yep. Dude, I got the YouTube video to how to tie a tie bookmarked on my phone. It's like I've watched that same video. I know it word for word basically, but I still can't do it. I got to watch the thing.
It's like the language of tribes that are just dying out. You know what I mean? Where you need like the elder to teach you how. Okay, how do I speak it, Grandpa? Don't die because I know you've been teaching me my whole life, but I rely on you every day to show me how to do it. That's what it's become.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I understand. I totally get that.
Well, we are underutilizing these prisoners, as you said.
Yeah,
I think,
absolutely.
It's a shame.
It's really a shame. Here, better idea. What we do is we take the doctors and we throw them in prison because they already have the knowledge. You know what I mean? We have to take away their excuse, this thing called freedom, as to why they're not working harder. Take that away, and then we get results.
Just gonna lock up a bunch of good doctors.
Yeah,
because it would benefit us. Yeah,
the best doctors. You lock them up,
right?
And you say, "We're gonna let you out." The key to your freedom is saving humanity. Good luck.
Have at it, boys and girls. I mean, whoever's the best. I don't know.
Whatever. I don't care. What's your GPA? Then we have all the doctors trying not to be like the last to graduate in their class, the bottom of the list. Those doctors are the ones that have the most patients outside.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the good ones, they start getting word that this is happening. So they start fucking up on purpose. They're like botching surgeries.
I got me. Oh, no. They come after him. Oh no! The A team.
Yeah,
those are the guys that come and capture magna cum laudes.
You're sitting in class your senior year, and the big guy comes in, and it's like what he's there for. Fuck, he's coming to get us.
Yes, exactly. They just give the diploma to the honor roll. And they just immediately file them into a van with no windows. Like, yep, here's your diploma. They take the diploma and they throw it in the van. Go get it. It's all yours. Just peel out. Well, I'm glad today we talked about witches. We talked about curing cancer. We talked about Bitcoin and, how you're going to become a major investor.
I don't know if I am, Sparks. I would love to, but I just don't know if it's in the cards.
I wouldn't. I don't think you should become a major investor of Bitcoin. I don't think financially you're there. I think you got to take care of some other things first. I'm not saying you're poor. I'm not saying you're poor. I'm just saying you got, like you said, you got to get your 401k in order. You got to get, you know what I mean? You got to get these things first. You got to get the more secure investments down before you can start going with the less secure options. That makes sense?
Okay. Like betting on the Browns the other night. Should I, instead of doing, which paid off, but should I maybe transition that into like a Roth?
Yeah. I think that's smarter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't bet on the Browns. That's my number one word of advice.
Dude, I bet on them once in my life and it paid off. So.
Did you really bet on them against the Steelers?
Yeah, I threw $25 on it just because it makes watching the game more fun.
Hell yeah, it does. Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was fun.
For you.
But then the following night, I bet on the Ohio State Buckeyes, and that did not pay off. So what the fuck? Me and Ohio teams. I got to spread it out a little.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. All right, well, there you go. That's it. Follow this gambling degenerate on Instagram at Pike Taylor Radio and TikTok, although he doesn't dance. I'm at Sparks Radio over there on all social media as well. So jump on there. And if you could, My God. Would you? I just want to hit the graphic again. Jump on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/Sparks Radio.
You jump on there, you're getting all kinds of bonus content. Pike and I, we're gonna talk financial stuff. So if you like that kind of things, make sure you jump on there. It only starts at $1 and it goes up to $5. It's not like it's robbing the bank or anything. All right, sound investment in my opinion. And if you could hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for being here. Hit the like, thumbs up, follow, comment, whatever you do. Hit it all, and I really do appreciate it. And tomorrow we'll find out who is going up on a billboard in Las Vegas for Project Payhim. That's it for us. Woo. We'll see you later.
Show's over, motherfuckers. Now get out of here.